and I'm going to be honest, in terms of not reading the room, this meeting takes the cake. You guys run this place. You could scrap the agenda right now, and we could debate President Trump's dangerous escalation going on in the Middle East. And instead of that, we get business as usual from Republicans, and it's unbelievable. We should be debating, right this second, debating what is happening with Iran. You guys should have the courage to come here, to explain what is going on, to justify what's going on to the American people, and what this president is doing. This president, by the way, who said he wanted no more wars, who called his opponent a warmonger, who ran for office on lower food prices. Well, 6 months in, and guess what? Food prices haven't gone down, but here we are. And Trump is launching missiles against Iran. I mean, talk about a bait and switch. Not only are we not talking about a war powers resolution right now, media reports say that Republicans are discussing rigging the rules to prevent Congress from having any debate at all. I hear you guys are considering deprivileging a war powers resolution to stop us from having a vote and having a debate. I mean, I think that's just pathetic. I really think it's cowardly. These strikes were illegal and unconstitutional. There was no congressional authorization, no authority, and I have seen zero evidence that this was done to prevent some imminent impending attack. This was a war of Donald Trump's own choice. Donald Trump woke up and decided to bomb Iran, so here we are. And let's just be clear. None of us want Iran to have a weapon of mass destruction. But I'm old enough to remember the last time a president used vague and shifting claims about weapons of mass destruction, dragging us into a war in the Middle East. Does anyone else remember that? Iraq? Trillions of dollars, thousands of lives lost, and here we are again. This isn't history rhyming or even repeating. This is like copy and paste. We've got top administration officials denying Iran is close to a nuclear weapon and then changing their tune a day later. We've got a president escalating the rhetoric and talking now about regime change. Iran is threatening to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, and if they do, gas prices will skyrocket. So much for lowering costs. And let me just also say, I and many others in this body have consistently opposed unauthorized military action no matter who is in the White House. Speaker Johnson said earlier that he, I quote, never heard a Democrat balk, end quote, when Presidents Biden or Obama used the military without approval. Well, he obviously wasn't listening, because I balked, and so did a lot of other Democrats. And frankly, I really resent the implication that this is all some political game. I opposed President Obama's actions in Libya. I criticized his escalation in Afghanistan. I held President Biden to the same standard when it came to Yemen. I have been consistent on this issue, and so have many other Democrats and many Republicans as well, to be frank. So this isn't partisan. It is about our responsibility to the American people. And I have the receipts here of all the times that I have questioned the actions of both President Obama and President Biden. But this is about our responsibility to the American people. And if we're going to spend their tax money dropping bombs on another country, if we're going to put their sons and daughters in harm's way, the least we can do is have the courage to debate it and to vote on it. If you think Americans want another endless war in the Middle East, go ahead and vote for one. But I want to know why Republicans don't want to have that debate, especially while American troops are being put in harm's way because of this president's reckless and unconstitutional strikes. And let's not get started on the Republicans' horrific tax scam bill that's working its way through the Senate, which is going to rip food off the tables of hungry kids and seniors and kick millions off their health care and gut programs like Medicaid and Medicare. Republicans are happily ripping basic assistance programs from regular folks so they could give even more tax breaks to the ultra-wealthy and their billionaire donors, while also adding trillions to our debt. Once again, this committee is doing a disservice to the American people. No president, Democrat or Republican, has the authority to bomb a sovereign nation without congressional approval, period. The Constitution gives that power exclusively to Congress, and I'll be damned if I sit back while Donald Trump drags us into another endless war. And shame on this committee and this body if we don't bring up a war powers resolution and have an up or down vote on this issue. We need to restore Congress as a co-equal branch of government. And I'm proud to co-sponsor the war powers resolution of my Republican colleague, Mr. Massey, who used to be on this committee, to stop this from going any further. And again, Speaker Johnson, this is not all politics. Many of us have consistently spoken up about this for years because the American people do not want us dragged into another endless war. We need to do our jobs, and before this goes any further, we need to have a thoughtful debate. We need to ask the questions, and we need to get this right, and we need to have a vote. So I thank our witnesses for being here. I just wish that they were here on the most pressing issue that is before our nation and the world at this moment, but we're not. And with that, Madam Chair, I yield back. Yeah, happy to. Do I have the, you give me the time back? I'm happy to yield to the gentleman.
Did you ask for the same debate when Joe Biden gave $16 billion to Iran in cash?
Yeah.
You asked for the same debate?
I've asked for debate on all these issues.
No. On the $16 billion that the President of the United States in cash, Obama gave $1.4 billion. Did you question that? It was all over the news.
I think we voted on the JCPOA agreement.
No, the cash that was delivered in the middle of the night.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the gentleman is talking to. I'm sorry that he doesn't want to have a debate on what we're doing right now, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate the fact that the Speaker of the House, maybe because of bad staff work, doesn't understand that many of us have been raising these questions both under Democratic and Republican administrations for years about the need for Congress to exercise its legitimate constitutional authority when it comes to war. But we should have this debate, and I would like to think that this is not not just Democrats, but Republicans should want us to have that debate. We got to get this right before we find ourselves up to our neck in another quagmire in the Middle East. I thank the gentlelady, and I yield back.